This week on the Organized Life podcast.
So overwhelm can come from feeling like we can't handle what's on our plate. And that's either a thought that's in our head, like you've got things swirling in your head, whether it's the to-do list or you look around your house, so you look around your office, like with the piles and things like, I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah,
you're feeling like a lot of demands are being put on you, either by other people or by yourself, or a combination of both. And you're like, I don't have the fuel in me to be able to do this.
Yeah. Hey, and welcome to the Organized Life podcast, where we are creating a movement with powerful organizing strategies and systems that save you space, time, energy, and money. I am your host, TakillaRene, the life organizing strategist, the professional organizer, and the owner of Extreme Audacity Organized Solutions. So listen, you guys, if you've been following this podcast for some time now, you know that we are on a journey striving to create the organized life. And with that being said, the journey to the organized life is not just about getting your physical space organized. It's about creating a life full of peace and productivity that pushes you towards purpose. So today I'm here with Chris, and she is the Burnout-Buster. All right. She is a wellness strategist and the founder of Priority Wellness. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you, Takilla. So thrilled to be here with you today.
I'm so excited to have you. And we just talked about your last name, and I still forgot just that fast. So would you tell the people? It's super simple, and I just made it so complicated and tongue-tied in my head. So I just wanted you to tell the people, how do you pronounce your last name?
Sure, it's Vasiliadis.
Vasiliadis. See, yeah, when I just looked at it, I was like about to say, I don't even think that's not what I was going to say. So I said, let me just let Chris say her own last name so I won't destroy it. Okay. So welcome, Chris. I'm super excited to have you.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to be here. I'm excited to talk about anything you would like today.
Yeah. So Chris and I, we recently connected, and immediately what stood out to me about her is how our work align, what we talk about here on the Organized Life podcast. Listen, she helps high-performing, over-busy people stop running themselves into the ground and instead learn how to actually run their days with intentionality, clarity, and energy. And that's exactly what we talk about here on the Organized Life podcast. Not just about getting your physical space organized, but learning how to actually run our lives with intentionality, clarity, consistency, which in turn, it gives you energy, right? So if you are still living this chaotic life, your energy is depleted and your focus is scattered, this conversation today is for you. We are going beyond organizing our physical space, and we're talking about organizing our energy, your attention, and the way we show up in life. Chris, listen, this conversation I'm so excited about. We had a little call last week or a couple of weeks ago, and we just really connected on that front. And I'm so excited to hear more about this, how you help people with this, like building that energy up. Because a lot of my clients and listeners, they are just overwhelmed and just frustrated and all the things. So one of the first things I want you to do is tell us a little bit about how you got started in this field, and what is it that you love about it the most?
So how I got started was way back in actually 2005, out of nowhere, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And that caused a whole bunch of lifestyle changes for me.
Okay.
And over time, health and wellness became much more important to me, so much so that I wanted to help other people create their ideal state of health and well-being. So I made the decision to become trained and certified as a health coach. And that's when I started Priority Wellness. So I hung out my shingle, if you will, for Priority Wellness in the fall of 2008.
Okay.
And when I started my business, I primarily focused on stress management. And over the years, it's evolved into burnout prevention as a specialty. And so I do a combination of coaching, consulting, and training in that area of helping people basically live in ways that elevate their energy without burning out. And that typically, what's included in that is typically looking at ways to reduce stress and ways to increase being more mindful and present. So what I love about my work, there's many things that I love about it, but I'm a huge people person. I've been a people person since I was a child. So I've always been curious about people and what makes them tick. So this is very much aligned with that. And I can line 10 different people up and say, okay, what's your ideal vision of your health and well-being? And I'm going to get 10 different answers, and they're all correct. So I love the variety of it and helping people figure out what the right combination of things are that work for them in this current season of your life. So what might have worked for you in your 20s and 30s to help you live a life of fully engaged well-being might not work for you in your 40s, 50s, and 60s.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's helping people. And I think sometimes we try to like shoehorn that in, or like, all right, I used to like, Zumba classes years ago, whatever it was. But maybe like, that's just not calling to me now, or whatever. I can't fit that in. So I love the challenge of helping people figure out what works for them now.
Yeah.
And helping them integrate that into their lives. Because it's one thing to like brainstorm ideas, but it's another thing to help people and give them permission to experiment and try different things and let's see what works. So, and that makes it fun.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love experimentation? Who doesn't love play? And so, and so all of that I love in my work.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love also very similar, like the reward of what you see the client feels or exudes when they get an aha moment, or when even just they start to see the possibility of what things can be or look like. It's very rewarding. So I'm in agreement with that.
Yeah, and also taking people from a place of they can't see what's possible,
Yes.
or they think that like, well, this is the only way I know how to do things. I don't know another way. But if they're open to learning other options and then discovering for themselves, oh, this could work, or once they start seeing other possibilities, that opens the lens for them of, oh, well, maybe this could work or this could work. And helping people see that they always had it within them to create it. But I'm privileged and honored to help be the catalyst that pulls that out of them.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. So one of the things you talked about is burnt out. One of the things that I read about you is that burnout isn't caused by doing too much, but by being misaligned, right? While doing the things. So how does someone recognize that they're misaligned before their body forces the lesson?
What a terrific question. If things, let's see, how would I answer that? There's so many different ways I would answer that.
Yeah.
So let me step back and kind of give the big picture definition of burnout. So we're on the same page in terms of terminology.
The context. The context is very important.
So let me give some. Yeah, and then if I forget, loop me back to that question.
Yes.
Absolutely. So you can think of burnout in three different pieces. The first piece is this sense of being depleted emotionally, physically, cognitively. Basically, you feel wrung out in your energy. So that's piece number one. Piece number two is feeling a sense of cynicism or disengagement from people around you.
Mm.
And then the third piece is feeling ineffective and incompetent. Some people feel like that's a continuum. Like you start with the exhaustion piece and then you move into these feelings of cynicism and depersonalization. And then you move in, and you're in that for so long, and then you go into feeling ineffective and incompetent. Some people feel like you can enter it at any one of those things. You might not need to
Right.
be in a certain place for a period of time. Time is a factor, though. It's not like you have one bad day and like, oh, I'm burnt out. You know, it happens over time. So a lot of times what I find is it's hard for yourself to see that you might be approaching burnout because it does happen over time. What's more likely to happen is someone close to you might notice, a close friend, partner, what have you. If it's in the workplace, a colleague might notice, your manager might notice, like you seem out of sorts, like you seem different. And it could be anything. And this is where we get back to like, what does it look like? It could be anything from missing deadlines, forgetting someone's name, forgetting where you put your keys, extremes in eating, either extreme overeating, extreme undereating, missing meals. Your sleep schedule is disrupted. You have a shorter fuse. You're just not yourself. So that any of those things also can be a sign that you're not aligned, like, or you're about to do something and you're realizing this doesn't match what I feel is most important to me. And so, and it's tough to have that awareness if we're caught in the mire of burnout. And that's why I say it's more likely that someone outside you is going to maybe call you and it's like, say, hey, I'm a little concerned. I'm seeing you not being yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah. And so any of that can be a sign that you're headed in that direction.
Yeah, that's great. So what would you, okay, because a lot of my clients, one of the things that they talk about is overwhelm. How would you say that overwhelm and burnt out are connected? Because I don't really, most of my clients are not calling me and saying, or, we having consultation and saying, oh, I'm just burnt out. Most of them say I'm overwhelmed. But in some cases, it can, for me, on the outside looking in, it can look like burnt out. How would you say that those two are connected?
Yeah, love that question. So overwhelm can come from feeling like we can't handle what's on our plate. And that's either a thought that's in our head, like you've got things swirling in your head, whether it's the to-do list or you look around your house or you look around your office, like with the piles and things like, I don't even know where to begin.
Yeah.
You're feeling like a lot of demands are being put on you, either by other people or by yourself, or a combination of both. And you're like, I don't have the fuel in me to be able to do this.
Yeah.
So that can be very, in some ways that can be somewhat synonymous with burnout, because when we're burnt out, we feel like we don't have the resources to be able to do what we need. So from an overwhelm perspective, what can be helpful is deciding, well, a couple of things. One, coming to terms with it never all gets done. It never all gets done.
Okay.
And that can be a tough pill to swallow, but it's never all going to get done, people.
Yeah.
Never. And so that might be scary for some people to hear, might be a relief for some people to hear.
Right.
But okay, it's never all going to get done. So if you kind of go with that for a little bit, and also consider, like, I don't have to be the one doing it all. I don't have to be Superwoman or Superman. Like, it doesn't have to be all on me. And not everything gets the same level of priority.
Yes. Oh, that's so good.
We have to figure out what's most essential and what's trivial. And this gets back to your alignment question earlier. Like, what is truly aligned with my values and what's most important to me. Like that is what's going to get my attention. That's what's going to get, you talk about energy, that's what's going to get my time and energy and focus. This trivial stuff can wait or can be given to someone else. And again, evaluating, is this for me to take on? Is this for me to take on today? Or can this wait till tomorrow, next week, next quarter,
Yes.
what have you?
Yes.
But it's hard to answer those questions if we're in the chaos and swirl of busyness.
Mm.
We need to give ourselves space and periodic opportunities to pause in order to reset our pace and in order to give us clarity for, okay, this matters today. This matters most today. I'll get off my soapbox for a little bit because I could talk about this forever, but I want to just give a pause just to get your response or any follow-up questions on that.
Yeah, no, that's great. One of the biggest thing that you said was what you just said close to the end is pausing. A lot of times we are going, and that could be our minds being cluttered, because we talk about clutter here a lot on the Life podcast. And that could be our physical space being cluttered. And until you take some time to step back, you can't get clarity. Your vision can't be expanded. Your mind can't be open to other possibilities because you're too busy doing the things that are causing you the burnout or the overwhelm, right? Instead of pausing to take a step back and trying to figure out, well, how can I get on the other side of this? So I love that, taking a pause, taking a step back. And maybe it is calling a Chris, calling a Takilla to see how they can help me get some clarity, get some peace inside of all this chaos, like what steps I can take in order to get to the other side. So that's awesome.
Well, I'm glad you like that. And yes, once again, I see how you and I are aligned. And yeah, and I think it's also people who find themselves in chronic overwhelm or chronic busyness, I find don't tend to take a lot of breaks and don't tend to pause a lot.
Absolutely.
And there's a whole bunch of reasons for that.
There's a whole bunch.
But what comes up in my work a lot is either people tell themselves stories about, well, what that means. Well, I can't take a pause because then I won't get anything done. Or people will think I'm lazy. Or I might discover something that I'm not happy about or whatever. Like pick any one of those and there's more.
Yeah.
But I think people are often afraid of what they might discover.
Ooh.
Because then they might have to deal with that.
Yes.
Or not.
That's so good.
Yeah. So the reality is what I find and what brain science shows is we need breaks to function. We're not robots. I often say we're human beings, not human doings.
Yes.
We need to give ourselves space to be. And so we're not designed to run 24/7. Our brains need a break. Our bodies need a break. And that can look differently. And I invite people to play with different time periods, anywhere from taking a break every 25 minutes or to perhaps every 90 minutes or somewhere in between, but experiment with what works for you. And that could look like different things. A break could be, if you're someone who works at a desk on a computer, it could be physically getting up from your workstation, getting a glass of water and coming back. It could be, if you've got Zoom meetings back to back, it could be getting up out of your chair in between a meeting and literally like bouncing up and down on your feet for like 10 bounces. It could be taking several deep breaths, but again, away from your workspace. It could be a longer break. If for folks who work from home, you might get up and maybe fold a load of laundry or empty out the dishwasher or what have you. Get outside. And you could do, again, whether you work from home, whether you work outside the home, like physically get outside, like rediscover, like there's more to work than just whatever you're doing.
Yeah. There's more to life than just work.
100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't underscore enough the need for us to take breaks and to discover how much more productive you can actually be when you do take a break, because you're allowing your brain to reset. And that's what enables it to be more innovative, more creative, to problem solve better.
Mm-hmm.
How many times do you come up with solutions when you're in the shower?
Right. Or driving. Driving is my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because you're kind of tuned out a little bit and you're not focused on the problem, like heads down, focused on the problem. And the idea comes up, and it's the same thing when we give ourselves breaks and build those in. So why wouldn't we want to take it? It seems counterintuitive, like, oh, I can't take a break because I'm like, but you'll be more productive. It helps you to be more efficient and use your time wisely.
Yeah. So I have this thing I call road revelations.
Okay.
Like, when I'm on the road, I get so many revelations from God, and it's so hard because I'm like, I can't stop to write them down. Just help me to remember. Help me to remember. If I get to a stoplight or something, I'll put it in my notes app. I got a whole little tab in there called Road Revelations. Well,
awesome.
It's just like when I'm just not doing anything and I'm just on the road and driving, because I drive a lot from client to client, home, whatever. And a lot of times the trips are like an hour, depending on the traffic, right? So I have those moments where I can think or pray or whatever the case may be. But when that's so true, when you're not physically doing the things, then you can actually get some clarity, right?
Yes.
One of my previous clients, podcast guests, she talked about, she's a therapist. She said that in most cases, scenarios, society has gotten us to think that we have to do.
100%.
Yeah. And so it's like, if your family or somebody sees you not doing something, they're like, you're lazy or you're not doing anything, because we're expected to do instead of be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you gotta be a certain person in order to do a certain things, in order to have a certain thing. And so I just love that you're talking about taking a pause and actually be with yourself, right? And so that you can go outside and, like I just recorded a podcast before this one. And in that 30-minute break, I turned my music on so loud. I was in the kitchen dancing. I put my coffee in the microwave. Like, I took a break. I got up from this space, this scene, and stretched my legs, danced a little bit in the kitchen while my coffee was heating up. And so you just got to take a break.
Those are all fabulous examples.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's so true of what's available to us and how we can generate energy for ourselves when we take a restorative type break.
Yeah, awesome. So one of the things that you talk about is systems of sanity.
Uh-huh.
So please, I want to learn more about that. Please tell me because you talked about being in your head. And the first thing I was thinking about when you said that being in your head, I was like, yeah, we need to talk about systems of sanity because a lot of us are insane.
Yeah.
So tell us about the systems of sanity.
Yeah. And that you can apply that in so many different ways, but it's basically baking in some routines or rituals that help to put you in a good headspace for you to take on your day. So for example, I often talk about bookends. How are you bookending your day? How are you starting your day? And how are you winding down your day deliberately? So for example, when you get up in the morning, you
said bookend? What?
Like bookends on the end of a bookshelf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah. So the start of the day and the end of the day. So how do you start your day? So many people get up, roll over, and pick up their phone and start scrolling. Okay. So that is I would argue that's not the most effective way to start your day. There are so many other ways. So for example, And seriously, but ask yourself the question, like, is that helping me start my day in a way that helps me be effective to take on the day?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So,
It's a waste of time. Like, you start to get soaked up into the whatever it is you're scrolling on, and then you lose track of time, and then it causes you to get behind time, right? So
totally, you end up getting sucked into other people's agendas and
yep,
sidelining your own.
yep,
So, yeah, let the phone wait because it'll all still be there.
yes,
And decide, okay, really think about it. And again, I challenge your listeners, like, okay, what when I do this particular thing in the morning, what helps me get off to a good day? So some potential thoughts are having a nutritious breakfast, doing some stretches, reading something inspirational, listening to an inspirational podcast,
mm-hmm.
prayer, meditation,
Yes,
whatever. It doesn't matter. Getting outside. You might even get outside and get some fresh air. Look out at the horizon at the beginning of the day. See the sunrise or see where the sun is in the sky. But what do you need to do that helps you hit the ground running? It doesn't have to be elaborate. It can be a single one. For some people, it's making the bed.
yes,
Getting up and making the bed makes me feel ready to take on the day, for example. And that could be your thing.
mm-hmm.
It could be any one of those things I listed or some combination thereof. And so there's that. So again, think about what helps you feel ready, like, okay, now I'm ready to hit the ground running. And then you can pick up the phone and do what you need to do. What helps you focus on getting back to what's most essential for me to tackle today.
Mm-hmm.
And how I want to be today. What's the energy that I want to bring to today? What helps to give me that energy that I want to bring to today? And then there's the wind down. The wind down, you can either do that in one piece or two different pieces. The two different pieces could be for folks who work. Maybe have a piece that you transition from, okay, work day is done, and now let me transition to my rest of the day. Or you could have a second piece that's like, okay, it's time for bedtime. Let me wind down there. And same thing, like we're like running so hard and running so fast. It's often we don't build in that transition period, and especially for people who work from home. So one thought, for example, is when the workday's done, if you're on your computer, you shut your computer, you don't touch it the rest of the day. It is done. You might, and let's take people who commute first. If you commute and your workday is done, maybe you play certain music in your car.
Yeah.
And for some people, that might be hard rock, heavy metal stuff. For some people, it might be a symphony.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you. But just something to like, okay, day is done. Let me release the day. And then think about how you want, just like we decided at the beginning of the day, okay, what's the energy I want to bring to my day? Now decide, especially if you live with other people, okay, what's the energy I want to bring into my home before I walk in that door?
Yeah. Yeah.
Being really deliberate about that. Okay, what do I need to do that? Maybe I need to take a few deep breaths. Maybe after I get out of my car, I need to like shake off a little bit, literally, like shake my body, like shake off the day. So there's that. And then, so you can do similar things if you work from home, like shake off the day. If you work in a different room than you do the rest of the house, again, decide, okay, once I walk through that doorway, what's the energy that I'm bringing? Changing your clothes, and that works for both working from home or working.
Mm-hmm.
And if you worked in your sweats all day from home, put on a different pair of sweats.
Right.
It's signaling to your body, like this part of the day is done. We're transitioning into a different part of the day.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then there's at the end, when it gets closer to bedtime, okay, start doing some other deliberate things, like maybe you move more slowly. Maybe you light a candle or play some soothing music, or maybe you play a game with your family that's not electronic, play a board game or play
Yeah.
cards or something.
Yeah.
Maybe you put some nice lotion on. Maybe you take a bubble bath, whatever.
Yeah.
And, and again, deciding, and then if you haven't already, like deciding, okay, what do I want to release from today? What am I grateful about today?
Yeah.
And what do I want to release from today? And then the cycle starts again. So that is kind of one super example of some systems of sanity.
Yeah.
And I like to focus on that because of the importance of the headspace that we're in for whatever it is we're taking on. Like, what are you doing to create that headspace?
Yeah, that was good. It sounds like you're talking about the systems that we use to support us, and then
Yes.
the systems that we use to suffocate us, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
And sometimes we're not aware of those. We're not conscious of it.
Yeah. So being self-aware of like what's actually benefiting our life and what's actually depleting our life, right?
Right.
So one of the things that I talk to my clients about is starting your day the night before. Right.
That works too.
The night before, this is a system that can support your life. The night before, if you know, okay, well, my daughter has a field trip that day, or my son has basketball practice, or whatever the case may be, preparing some of those things the night before, maybe packing their lunch or packing your lunch, or making sure the permission slip is in the bag, or all of these things that we can do the night before to help with decision fatigue in the morning, right? So we're not rushing. I think it's one of the systems that can support your life. We got to figure out what's not working in order to figure out what's working, what's suffocating you. And so, okay, so what can we do that's different? And a lot of times we have to figure out, we got to do a process of elimination. So start trying different things, right? I tried this, that's not quite working. Why isn't it working? And then you may be able to tweak it just a little bit, not fully, but tweak it just a little bit. Maybe I need to do it 5 minutes earlier. Maybe I need to, have my daughter do this or whatever the case may be. But really, I think one of the biggest transitions that I've helped my clients with was starting the night before, in order to support your day. Because you may be tired in the evening, but I'm telling you how much beneficial it is for you to do some of the things at night to help support your next day.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's absolutely a system that can work. And I think it depends on what works best for people's brains. Some people like to plan the next day at the end of the day. Some people like to plan the day ahead in the morning. So whatever works for you, but absolutely.
Yeah.
That's, and you're reminding me too of a process that I typically take folks through is identifying what are your energy infusers, the things that give you energy, and what are your energy drains. And that can be helpful to look at, okay, so what do I need more of on the energy boosting front? And what do I need less of in the energy drains? What's draining my energy? And I typically propose what I call the 3R rescue for the energy drains. So you identify your energy drains and you say, okay, can I remove this drain? Can I reduce this drain? If I can't remove it or reduce it, can I respond to it in a different way? Because often the times what we respond to an energy drain, we're making it worse. We're making the situation worse.
Yeah.
Like, for example, traffic. Traffic can be an energy drain. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I reduce traffic? Probably not.
Probably not.
Maybe I can get off at another exit or whatever. Can I remove it? Can I reduce it? Maybe not. You can pay attention to the traffic reports and figure out. And if I can't remove it or reduce it, okay, I'm stuck here. Can I respond to it differently? So rather than like screaming or banging on the steering wheel or giving people the finger or whatever,
right.
It's like, okay, how is this really helping? How can I respond to this in a different way? It's like, okay, I'm stuck in this traffic. What do I need to do? What do I need to do? Okay, is there someone I need to call to let them know I'm going to be late? how can I make the most of this time? Maybe I put on some music that I really like. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll do like 80s disco dancing in my car. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
put on a podcast. Like, all right, how can I make the best use of this?
Yeah. Some
Rather
systems
than
that support you.
stewing.
Yeah. Systems that support you.
Systems that support you. And again, getting back to, okay, once I'm past this traffic, how do I want to be? Again, going back to how do I want to be? Do I want to bring the energy of my frustration of the traffic into whatever the next thing is?
Yeah.
Or do I want to bring a centered, calm, grounded version of myself, a peaceful version of myself to the next thing?
Yeah.
Because there's always going to be external stuff going on.
Yeah.
We get to decide how we respond to to
Yeah.
that. And what helps us is to have systems in place that periodically ground and center us and give us moments of stillness. So that's another, we probably have another whole other podcast about that, but that's another thing you can make sure you have our way conditioning yourself for routine times of stillness, quiet, peace. So you cultivate that within yourself. It's always there. It's just remembering that it's there so you can tap into that when you need it.
Yeah. So that's good. You talked about energy a lot just a minute ago. And energy, as we both know, is currency.
Yes.
Right? So what would you say is the most common invisible expense that people are paying without realizing they're bankrupting themselves?
Oh, mental energy from worrying about all the what ifs.
Whoa.
Worrying does us no good. We don't problem solve from worrying. We don't relieve ourselves from the anguish of feeling down mentally by worrying. We're projecting either we're worrying about something that happened in the past and regretting what we said or did or didn't do, or we're worrying about the what ifs for the future. Future is fantasy. The past is gone, and it's and the past is a story because it's a story of what we think happened, which may or may not reflect reality. The only reality is the present and what's here and what we have to work with. So we may or may not like what's here, but when we are in acceptance of what's here, doesn't mean we need to like it, but we're in acceptance with the reality of what's here, that's where our power is. Our power is in, okay, right now, it's like this. Now, what do I want to do with that?
Yeah.
But again, that comes from, we often bypass that opportunity to work with what's here because we're stuck in the swirl of the worrying.
Yeah.
And instead, that can be a trigger to like, oops, getting into the worry thing. Let me focus on being present.
Yeah. Yeah. I think worrying is, I 100% agree. And I've lived in a place of worrying about stuff that I couldn't control for a lot of years. And it takes a super mental shift to really get out of that rut of your first response is to worry.
Yes. Oh, it's totally a conditioned habit. And I was talking to someone about this the other day. Our brains, we have cave people brains. Our brains are wired to protect us. That's how we're wired biologically.
Yeah.
So our default is to go to the fear place, or go to like, oh, because it's our brain's trying to protect ourselves. So that's easy to do because that happens so naturally. But again, it's biological. So having the awareness of that to be like, oh, okay, this is where my brain's trying to protect me. Okay, let me use that instead as a trigger to be like, okay, I'm going to instead focus on what I know is factual and real and true now, so I can make the next wise choice. And that, just like we have conditioning of the brain, that is a conditioning that requires repeat practice to build that muscle of basically being mindful and present. So you're able to make better choices.
Yeah. So one of the things that I deal with is high performing individuals. Most of my clients are high level executives in a role. They're entrepreneurs. What can you give us about a high performing person that they're excellent planners, but they're poor surrenderers? Okay. How do we help someone who trusts their strategy more than they trust their intuition and their faith?
Well, here's how I'm going to answer that question. I'm never one who's going to pull someone's kicking and screaming into doing any of these philosophies. If people are really set in their ways, I'm not going to try to change their mind. Like, okay, that's work. You feel that that's working for you, fine. But there's a reason why you came to me, and it's not like I can like poof a magic wand on you and like, oop, your issue. So what are you willing to change? So that's kind of what it boils down to is asking that person, or what if nothing changes? Where are you going to be 6 months from now? What if nothing changes? So yeah, it's more. I would start with being curious with that person around. Okay, you initiated this discussion to explore, but you pretty much say you want to stay where things are. Well, how would you expect things to change if? So it's getting for me. I would get curious about, again, what if nothing changes, and or where might you be willing to start? What might you be willing? What might you be willing to experiment with, test out, try, explore? Yeah,
because that's what it's all about, really. Like when you're trying to something new, when you're trying to change something, when you're trying to, do that one, do a shift, right? You're not gonna get it right the first time. You got to try something. You got to experiment, see what works and see what doesn't work in order to, really find out what actually will work for you. I mean, I've changed things in my house so many times, and it depends on the season you're in too. I've changed how I do things systematically on my, when I'm running my business and all these things, because what worked for me in one season is not working for me in this season, or it never really worked. But I still needed to tweak it. Right. So it just depends on whatever season you're in and whatever, journey you're on in the moment and where you're trying to go.
Well, and to your point too, getting back to what we were talking about near the very beginning, talk about alignment.
Yeah.
Like, well, what matters most to you now?
Yeah.
What matters most to you now? And what if working together, we could discover ways for you to be more effective and enhancing your well-being in the process? What might that be like?
Yeah.
So it's basically painting a combination of being curious. Well, let's explore a little bit on that. Let's you open to having that, see if they're open to that kind of discussion, but exploring a little bit and then painting a picture of like, I can't tell you, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you exactly what's possible for you, but there's possibilities here if you're open to playing, and for some, and that might be enough of a nudge for someone, and for other people it's like no, and for some people it's not the right time, and that's okay.
Timing is everything.
You got to be ready.
Yeah. So one of the things that I know about me and my business and my strategy and system is that my systems are pretty much proven. However, just because it's a proven system, it's not going to be done exactly the same way by every person.
Sure.
Right? It's just it needs a little bit tweaking per the person, right? So it's so many different levels to it: timing, the season, all of these things that we're in and we're going through, what will actually stick and work for you in that moment.
Mhm.
So that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and what are they willing to let go of? What are they
Yeah.
willing to challenge? What are they willing to look at?
Mm-hmm.
Um, what are they willing to release attachment to?
All that.
And that could be anything from, are you willing to let go of you needing to do it all?
Mm. Yeah, that's good.
And that could be anything from, you're talking earlier about some of the systems with your clients and the whole notion of planning the day before, like kids' lunches and stuff. Well, age appropriate wise, like, could your child make their own lunch? Like, do you need
Absolutely.
to be the one making their lunch? Or
Yes.
even like dinner prep certain nights. Like, can children of a certain age can they help with the prep?
Absolutely.
And whatever that looks like, or maybe
Yeah.
they pick what dinner is some night. Maybe maybe let your kid pick that it's sandwich night tonight,
Yeah.
whatever. So, or maybe
That's
it's
good.
breakfast for dinner night. Like, maybe we have pancakes for dinner tonight.
Oh, that's
Whatever.
great. Yeah.
But yeah,
That,
I mean, it doesn't have to be again, what are you willing to let go of? Every meal does not need to be a gourmet meal,
yes.
and yeah. So
That's so funny. So my boys, so I was going through this high intensive leadership program,
mhm.
and they were in early high school, somewhere around
Okay.
there. And my coach, she was like, why can't they cook one night a week or something like that? And so then I charged them I gave them 2 nights a week. So I have two boys.
Wow.
I gave them 2 nights a week. And I said, I will make sure you eat the other 3 nights. I didn't say I would cook.
Oh, what a great way to phrase that.
I would make sure you eat. But I bought things that they can make. I bought hamburger meat so they can make burgers. I bought
Mhm.
chicken and they could make fresh chicken nuggets and things that I knew that they knew how to. If it was a pizza, I bought frozen pizzas they can pop in the oven, make a salad. So I had them to help prepare meals like 2 nights a week. You tell me what you want to cook. I'll make sure we have it. Um,
Totally.
and so that was like 4 nights a week that I took off of my plate where they were responsible for the meals. And it just was so helpful. And I like love that you brought that up. Like, you don't have to make your kids lunch. My son and I was talking about this. So yesterday we did his meal prepping for the week.
Mhm.
And so he was like, I remember when we were younger, he used to make us make our own lunch. And he like almost like had an attitude. I was like, and I did. Listen, you could put a juice box in the lunch bag. Chips, you can make your own peanut butter and jelly sandwich or a meat and cheese sandwich. Yes, his friends' parents were still making their lunch, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Right? So he was like, you made me make my own lunch. I did. And that's why you're in here meal prepping now. I bet that child is not doing that, but you're learning how to cook your own meal. He made tilapia and
Wow.
chicken and he made some rice and some pasta, all these things. It took us 2 hours. Easy.
Wow.
He has his lunch and dinner for the rest of the week. And so I think that's great. Help having your children do some of the things. You don't have to do everything. I talk to my clients about that all the time.
Yeah. Well, it's such a win-win because it helps you take stuff off your plate, no pun intended with the meals and the cooking. But it's an opportunity for growth for your children. Like, to
Absolutely.
empower them and show them what they're
Absolutely.
capable of. And developing skills, life skills that they can then build upon. Like, yeah, I didn't make your lunch when you were little, and look at you prepping meals now. Like,
Yes.
look at what that opened up the gateway for this to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
It definitely builds life skills and help them to be more independent, right?
Yeah.
So
Well, and oh, go ahead.
no.
I was just going to say, and for people who are leaders in the workplace, think about this analogy in enabling your team. Like, rather than trying to do everything and take care of everything for
Absolutely.
your team members. Like, what can you delegate to them? What can you give them to try to skill build?
Mm-hmm.
What can, so they can start to lead themselves in more effective ways? Because that's what
Mm-hmm.
we're basically doing, is helping people
Yeah,
lead themselves more effectively.
absolutely. Yeah. What's one belief about productivity that you believe that most successful people need to unlearn? Right? What's one tool or habit or boundary that we need to unlearn, and one that actually would work that we can put in place?
Okay, here's how I'm going to answer that question. I often say that success does not require chronic exhaustion. It's
Mm.
from energizing and aligning with what matters most. So, what's the tool for that? I think the tool is consistently checking in, whether that's beginning of the day or the end of the day as part of one of your bookends, and looking ahead to the day. Okay, is what's on my to-do, it's what's on my calendar and my to-do list aligned with what's most important to me.
Mm.
And or looking ahead to the week and seeing that, okay, what's, and being willing to drop or move things that aren't aligned with what's most important to you. Use that as an opportunity to delegate, delay, or take stuff off your list. So it's getting in that habit of consistently reviewing what's on our plate versus being a victim of it.
Mm.
And that gets back to the whole that will keep you out of overwhelm. If you
Mm-hmm.
consistently have a way to review that and check in, well, okay, this is doable, this isn't, or and that could be anything from, I mean, we're recording this right after the holiday season,
Yeah.
but that could be anything from like social commitments to sporting events or dance things or whatever with your kids' activities, and meal planning around that, ride planning around that.
Mm-hmm.
What's realistic to take on. We haven't talked about expectations, and again, that could be a whole other
Yeah.
conversation, but being aware of the expectations that we put on ourselves and what's realistic.
Yes.
Are we putting super people expectations on ourselves, or just like normal people expectations
Right.
of,
Realistic.
realistic? Like, what is realistic? Because it's not like you get a prize at the end of your life, like, wow, you overextended yourself all the time. You go, versus, okay, I was more in alignment with what's most important to me, and I can feel good about that.
I think we have more joy when we feel more aligned. You have
Totally.
more peace. You feel more purpose filled when you are more aligned.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And alignment also, I'm glad you brought up joy too. It's, if we are don't we're human beings, we're not robots. If we don't have some consistent sources of joy in our lives, we're not going to be happy people to be around.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to bring a lot of happy energy in the room. And again, not that we have to be like rose-colored glasses all the time and unicorns and rainbows, but it's more making sure that we're not sidelining that or
Yeah.
delaying joy.
Yeah.
And joy could be, I'm having a cup of tea by myself before the kids get up in the morning.
That's joy.
Yeah.
Those rose petals and rainbows you were just talking about, that's
Yeah.
fake happiness. That's like joy.
Yeah.
Joy is actually like for me, it's just an inner peace. Like my holiday season was so full of joy. Why? Because it was so peaceful. It was just the most peaceful holiday season I've literally ever had in my life. I did hardly nothing. Okay. It was so nice. I did work a little bit, but the
Mhm.
stress wasn't on me. I didn't have a bunch of clients lined up. I usually am running. And I was not this holiday season. And I feel so light. right now.
Yeah.
Today is my first day back working, and
Okay.
it's just so great. I feel so joyous.
Yeah. Well, and that, getting back to energy, that translates in the energy that you're bringing forward. Look at the energy now that you're bringing into 2026 with how you were. Someone that I had followed for a long period of time, Brendan Mouchard, would say, how you are today is a reflection of how you spent the last 72 hours.
Ooh.
And I so agree with that. It's like, if you're feeling a lot of joy, look at the last 72 hours. If you're being kind of crabby, look at how you spent the last 72 hours.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's a very succinct way of like waking you up of, oh yeah, our energy is such a big component of who we are and how we show up. And we need to remember that we can cultivate that.
Yeah.
We don't have to like wait to generate the kind of energy we want. We can create that for ourselves.
Awesome. All right, Chris, our final question. If someone listening today decided to stop managing their life and started leading it, what would be one of the first intentional shifts that would need to happen?
There's many ways I could answer that. And today, the way I will answer that is asking yourself, what is the core energy that's most important for me to bring forward at this time? And how can I best create that?
Okay.
And giving yourself the permission and the space to ask yourself that question. And that just might be out loud. It might be journaling, whatever it might be discussing. Maybe you have a good friend and you ask each other that question. Whatever way works for you to kind of get it out there and ask yourself. But I challenge you to ask yourself that question.
I love give yourself permission. We give ourselves permission to be a mess. We do not give ourselves permission to have peace.
Have peace, have grace. Yeah.
Yes.
All of it.
Like, give yourself permission. It's okay to not and even while I was going through this holiday season, there was some angst in me about not doing a lot of things and not, having all these things on my plate. But on the other side of that, let me tell you something. Saturday, I saw how beneficial this break was for me. I went to the end of 2026 and I literally blocked off 2 weeks in my calendar.
Wow.
At the beginning of January, I went and blocked off 2 weeks at the end of 2026 because I saw the benefit of it and how much it blessed my life. And I believe that it's going to propel my 2026 and it's preparing me for what's to come.
Yeah. I love that you already got that insight from what you did.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't believe that we can feel that way until we try putting some of these practices into place.
Yeah.
So I often say to people, what do you have to lose?
Yeah.
What do you have to lose? Yeah. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
You didn't like it? Okay.
Try something else.
You keep the status quo? Okay. Like, what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Again, give yourself that permission. Give yourself grace as you try different things. It may or may not go how you expected. It might go a million times better than you expected. You don't know unless you try.
It definitely went way better than I anticipated. I anticipated me feeling bad for not, grinding and bringing in all this money and all these things. And listen, I'm feeling amazing. So
I'm so glad to hear that. And I am on a mission to create more role models that exemplify what you just described, because we need more of those. We have plenty of the people grinding and running around like chickens with their heads cut off and stuff. And part of my mission is to create more role models of people operating with systems of sanity and at a sane pace that elevates their well-being.
Awesome. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Chris, for being here and imparting your wisdom onto the Organized Life listeners. I'm so grateful to have you here.
Thank you so much, Takilla. It was a pleasure.
Yes. Awesome. So you guys know here on the Organized Life podcast, if whatever strategy or system you're putting in place is not saving you space, time, energy, and money, you want to tweak it, revisit it, like see what's inside that system. We kind of talked about that earlier. That's not quite working for you, and make some adjustments so that you can be saving in all 4 areas. All right. So if you want to be a guest here on the Organized Life podcast, or if you have a question for me or one of my guests, please send us an email at info@extremeaudacity.com, and we'll get that information out to you. We'll get your topic into rotation. Chris, is there anything else you would like to share with the Organized Life listeners?
I would just like to say, if folks liked what they heard today and would like to hear more, please go visit my website, which is PriorityWellness.com. I put out a monthly newsletter called Energizing You that has all kinds of tips in it and upcoming programs and such. So, and that all that information is on the front page of my website.
Awesome. And we'll have her information in the show notes, in the description, depending on where you're watching this or listening to this podcast. And with that being said, thanks again, Chris, for being here. And until next time, ciao.
Ciao.